Yo, it's another beautiful day to learn something new. Now, when we say nyota yako imeibiwa, nani anakuanga ameiba hii nyota? Na hii nyota inaibiangwa aje? That is what I want us to talk about in this video. Because most cases I find people coming to my inbox, mtu ananiambia Buni, nyota yangu imeibiwa, stepmom wangu, auntie yangu, uncle yangu, workmate yangu ameniibia nyota. And then nawauliza amekuibia nyota aje? And nobody explains. Kuna wengine unapata mpaka hata mtu ameenda kwa pastor kuombewa ama ameenda kwa mganga, alafu anaenda anaambiwa kuna mtu anakuroga, kuna mtu anatumia nyota yako, but nobody is able to explain to you how it's happening, ama vile nyota yako inaibiwa ama vile nyota yako inatumiwa. And so that leaves a lot of people confused and you don't know what to do, and that is why you stuck in that situation for a very long time. So now today I want to explain to you nani anaiba nyota yako na inaibiwa kivipi, so that you can be able now to understand how it works, and you can also be able to look into your life uone kama any of these things is happening, na pia uweze kujiprotect. Kwa pamoja mpaka hapo? Alright, now we've talked about nyota ni nini, and we talked about nyota and destiny. Kama hujawatch your video, go back to that the first video in this series. Watch your video ya kwanza so that you can catch up with us, ujue ni nini tuna discuss. Okay? Now, so nani huiba nyota yako? So now tunajua nyota ni destiny. So tukiangalia nani anaiba nyota yako, tunaangalia the enemies of your destiny. Okay? And the enemies of your destiny, we call them distractions. Hizi ni vitu zinajaribu kukudistract from destiny yako through ways in which you're going to talk about. So, now to answer the question, nani anaiba nyota yako, it's very simple. Nyota yako inaibiwa na spirits and energies that are against your destiny. Nyota yako inaibiwa na spirits and energies that are against your destiny. Sijakwambia nyota yako inaibiwa na nyanya yako ama na uncle yako ama na mdosi wako ama na pastor wako, nimekwambia inaibiwa na spirits and energies that are against your destiny. But as we all know, spirits and energy, they move through people and environments, and we'll talk about that later in this video. So how do these spirits and energies steal your destiny? They steal your destiny by creating either diversions, delays, or detachments. So they will delay your destiny, they will divert you from your destiny, or they will detach you from your destiny. Okay? So tumesema nyota yako inaibiwa na spirits and energies that are against your destiny, na zinakuibia through diversion, detachment, and delay. So ukisema nyota yako imeibiwa, hebu angalia imeibiwa na njia gani? Are you experiencing delay? Have you been detached from your destiny? Ama umedivertiwa kwa vitu zingine? And once you're able to understand that, all you need to do now is to realign to your path of destiny, na nyota yako itarudi. Okay? Now, because we know nyota yako haiwezi ibiwa vile unaweza ibiwa kitu kama simu ama kibeti ati kiibiwa imeenda kabisa na imepotea. Tulisema the only way nyota yako inaweza ibiwa ni kukuwa either delayed, diverted, ama unakuwa detached. But once you go back to that path, nyota yako inarudi. So nyota yako ama destiny yako haibiangwi kabisa. It's just corrupted. Alright? So now let's talk about these distractions that steal your destiny, or these distractions zenye zinatumika kukuibia nyota, because anybody mwenye anataka kukuibia nyota have kutumia hizi distractions. So it's important for us to talk about them so that tunaweza angalia kwa life yako uone kama utaziona. Alright, so the first category, tutaziweka in 4 categories, and the first category of distractions inaitagwa inner distractions. So sometimes unaweza kukisema nyota yako imeibiwa, unaanza kutafuta nani anakuibia, but the truth is wewe mwenyewe ndio una block destiny yako. Wewe mwenyewe ndio unakalia nyota yako. Ni wewe mwenyewe unajeka kwa hiyo situation. So whatever that it is yenye ina take away your destiny ama inaiba nyota yako, it's something that is within you, and that is what we call inner distractions. An example of inner distractions ni kitu kama fear. Fear is the greatest enemy of destiny. Fear has stolen more destinies than even the devil himself. So when you find in your life you have the spirit of fear. Kuna fear of failure, fear of unknown, fear of getting hurt, fear of being judged, fear of success. When you're operating in fear, you're blocking your own destiny. So acha kuangalia nani anakuibia nyota, jua kikulacho kinguoni mwako. That fear in you is the one that is blocking your destiny. Another internal distraction, another inner distraction ni kitu tunaitanga doubt. Unajidoubt wewe mwenyewe, you doubt God, you doubt your abilities, and that ends up blocking your destiny. Because ukianza kujidoubt, you're not able to take action, you're not able to align with your destiny. Ukianza kujidoubt, unaanza kufanya vitu zingine ama unaogopa kufanya vitu zingine, which end up either delaying or diverting you from your destiny. Another thing that is an inner distraction is something we call low self-worth. Low self-worth ni ile time ujiamini, uko na low self-esteem. You have an identity crisis, you're confused about who you are, so ujijue ni nani, so haujiamini, haujitambui, and that delays your destiny. Another thing is something called procrastination. Procrastination ni ile unataka kupostpone kila kitu. Unajua unafaa kufanya kitu saa hii, but unataka kuifanya saa hizi, unataka kuipush uifanye later. Alafu tena later ikifika tena unaipush. Unakanga tu ukipostpone vitu, and you end up either not doing ama doing it when it's too late, and that creates diversions, delays and detachment, and that is how unajibia nyota wewe mwenyewe. So procrastination is as a result of lack of discipline, lack of motivation, lack of commitment na kitu kama overthinking. Another internal distraction that blocks your destiny ni kitu tunaitanga unhealed wounds. Hizi zinatokana na emotional trauma, childhood trauma, rejection, kama umeundergo rejection sana, guilt, if you're feeling guilty about something, pia ina block destiny yako. Shame, if you're ashamed about something or if you feel ashamed of yourself, pia ina block destiny yako. Past experiences, zile relationships umekuwa, the things that you've gone through in this life, hizo zote ni vitu zinaweza block ama zidelay destiny yako. Na hizo ndo tunasema wewe mwenyewe ndio unajibia nyota. Another category of distractions ni kitu tunaitanga external distractions. So external distractions, these come from the world around you. And this is why it's very important to be aware of your environments, or to have something we call situational awareness. So these come from your environment and the people around you. So kika maeria hivi ama ukikaanisha na watu, it's good to look out for the following things. Number one, toxic relationships. When you're in a toxic relationship, inaweza block destiny yako, inaweza kuibia nyota yako. And this happens because you'll be manipulated, you'll be made to doubt yourself. Alafu pia hizo vita mingi in these toxic relationships, they are not good for your destiny. Another thing is something we call cultural pressure, ama hizi ni societal expectations. Society na expect ukae design fulani, ukuwe mtu fulani, you take a certain path, you do things a certain way. So sometimes you're not able to do what you want, or you're not able to follow the path of your destiny. So you're forced to follow a path that society has decided for you. That's why unasikianga watu wakisema, oh, I married because of societal pressure, naishi place because of societal pressure, nilipeleka watoto place fulani juu ya societal pressure. And some of these things, without you knowing, they end up blocking your destiny. The other thing is financial pressure. Pesa ni kitu moja inaweza fanya upoteze destiny yako haraka sana, especially when you're chasing money over meaning. Unataka tu do and you're willing to do anything. You're willing to stay in positions that block your destiny and zinakublock growth just because you're making some money. So financial pressure ni pia kitu moja imeharibu destiny za watu wengi sana. I'm not saying money is bad. I'm not saying usiende kutafuta pesa. Just know that whichever way you're using to make money aligns with your destiny. Another thing is what we call busyness. Busyness is the act of being busy. Saa zote unakuanga busy, unakuanga tu na mashughuli. And so you're always overscheduling your things, you're always overcommitting, haunaga personal time, haunaga time hata wewe mwenyewe kurelax na kureflect. So in that process, you end up being in a life that has a lot of activity, na hauna time ya kufocus kuangalia kama you are aligned to your path. It's not bad to be busy as long as whatever you're doing is aligned to your destiny path. But kama vitu unafanya ziko all over and you feel lost and hata wewe mwenyewe uelewi kwenye unaenda, you're always busy but you cannot see the outcomes. You're always busy, you're always tired, but wezi simamisha kitu hivi useme indu inafanya nichoke hii design yote. So when you see your life is filled with too much activity and you don't even have time to reflect, that can block your destiny. Something else is something that is very common nowadays, inaitwa dopamine overload. Hii ni ile time unashinda ukiscroll social media all day, you're always drinking, you're always engaging in sex, gambling, and all these are other addictive habits zinaweza lead to you losing your destiny ama nyota yako ikipotea. Okay? Another thing, the category number 3 is something we call spiritual distractions. So spiritual distractions come from the enemy, or what we call the kingdom of darkness. So these are spiritual attacks or deceptions meant to disconnect you from God and your purpose. Na hizi ni vitu kama false doctrine. This is where you get misleading spiritual teachings and guidance. Unaweza pata unaendaga church fulani, but your church ni a false prophet. So the kind of gospel they teach you is the wrong gospel. The kind of spiritual guidance they give you is the wrong guidance. Ama unafuata online gurus wenye wanakupatia misleading advice, unaenda kwa waganga, kwa wachawi wenye wanakupatia misleading advice, and you end up losing your destiny. Another thing is temptations. Temptations huko tu kila mahali. Temptations make you compromise your destiny. Unakuwa tempted kufanya vitu zenye zina ku divert from your destiny ama vitu zenye zina ku detach from your destiny. So it's very crucial for you to learn when you see temptations, unajaribu kuangalia hizi temptations zinajaribu kukuvuta pande gani. So temptations can come in form of money, where they are trying to tap into your spirit of greed, ama zinaweza kuja through lust, where unajaribu kuwekwa kwa compromising situations so that they can take away your destiny. Another spiritual distraction is something we call spiritual dryness. Spiritual dryness ni penye unafikanga sasa uwezi kuomba, uwezi read word ya God, you're not able to focus on your faith, to work on your faith. It's because you are undergoing a phase of spiritual dryness. Something else, another spiritual distraction is something we call sin patterns. Sin patterns nizo tunaitanga generational curses, generational cycles, generational trauma. Hizi ni zile vitu zimekuwa zikihappen maybe in your family or in your environment for generations. Unapata familia fulani, like all the men in that family wanga wana end up kukua walevi. Kuna familia fulani hata umake pesa ngapi, you all end up broke. Kuna familia zingine wasichana huko ole wangwi. Kuna familia zingine huko hata wakiolewa ama wakioa they have to divorce. Like yani hiyo familia tu inakuanga tu na mavurugu na mashida zake zenye zimekuwa passed on down generations. So these are also things that can delay your destiny or can steal your destiny. Something else is what is called diverted assignments. Diverted assignments ni when you're pursuing something that is not aligned to your destiny. Unaweza kuwa unafanya job ama you're involving yourself in activities zenye haziko aligned to your destiny. So you are diverting yourself and taking another path that will not lead to your destiny. And sometimes inaweza feel poor at that time. It might feel like the right thing to do, but somewhere along the way or somewhere down the line, it's going to destroy you. So the last category of distractions ni kitu tunaitanga destiny replacements ama destiny counterfeits. And these are paths or activities. Okay, hapo msikio makelele. Alright. So destiny replacements ama counterfeits, these are paths or activities that feel almost right but are not aligned to your divine calling or your destiny. So what are these things? It's something we call, for example, success without fulfillment. In ile, yes, una make dough, yes, unaishi poa, but ndani ya roho yako una feel there's like an empty void yenye ujui ni nini. You feel like there's still something missing. Despite all the money that you have, despite the good career that you have, despite you being in a good relationship, despite you doing well, bado unasikia kuna kakitu kana miss. And that is because you're not fully aligned to your destiny. Another destiny replacement is when you use your gifts to serve the wrong kingdom ama to serve the wrong purpose. You are a gifted leader, but instead of leading people properly, wewe ndio unaongoza na corruption, wewe ndio una mislead watu wako, wewe ndio unafinyilia watu wako, unatumia leadership position yako vibaya. That can delay your destiny. At that point, unaweza feel you're mighty and powerful, but somewhere down the line, it's going to destroy you. Ama let's say wewe you have a gift of helping people, but you help people and when vulnerable people come to you for help, you take advantage of them. So unatumia gift yako vibaya, ama unatumia gift yako kufanya vitu zenye they don't glorify God, and that is what we call prostituting your gift, and such things can steal your destiny or can derail your destiny. Another thing is being busy in ministry but disconnected from your specific assignment. Ministry can be anything. Could be a ministry in church. Ministry could be what you do for a living or the vocation you've chosen to pursue in life. Uko busy hapo, una invest time yako yote hapo, but whatever it is that you're doing is not aligned with your destiny. And that's why it's very important to know what your destiny is. Kujua nyota yako ni gani, so that everything that you do, you can align it with that. And we'll be talking about that in another video down the line in this series. So it's important for you to watch this series all the way to the end. Another destiny replacement or another destiny counterfeit is when you're living other people's expectations. So hii ni kama you're doing something, ama you're living a life maybe to impress your friends, you're doing things to impress your parents, to impress society. Maybe juu unataka kukua mwalimu but mama yako alikuwa anataka ukue daktari, so you had to go do medicine. Sasa wewe ni daktari but you're not happy, roho yako bado iko pale pengine. And this happen, you've seen this a lot nowadays, especially when people go to school to do one thing but wakimaliza shule they come and pursue another thing. Another thing is when you are living a life yenye si yako. You're living a life to impress your friends. You're living a life to try and impress somebody else. And at the end of the day, you end up not serving your destiny and your destiny is lost. And lastly, it's when you settle for comfort instead of growth. Inili nitango kuhit comfort zone. For you, kumbuka tulisema in the previous video when you're talking about destiny and nyota, we said that destiny is not a destination, it's a journey. So if you get too comfortable somewhere along the journey and you stop working towards your destiny, you can lose your destiny. You can be detached from it, you can be diverted, it can be delayed. So it's always important to make sure that every day that you wake up, you have to do something that advances your path of destiny. Okay? The moment you become too comfortable, it becomes very easy to have your destiny stolen. So now, in a quick summary, tumesema nani anaiba nyota yako? Tulisema it's spirit and energies that are against your destiny. Tukasema wanazibaji, they steal by diverting your destiny, diverting you from your path of destiny, delaying your destiny or detaching you from your destiny. Okay? Na tukapeana several ways or several distractions that are used. So this is how it happens. So kama kuna mtu anataka kukuibia nyota, ama kuna mtu anakuibia nyota yako, they will use one of these many distractions. Either mtu ataanza kukulewesha, they are going to use spiritual means, they are going to put you in a position where you're too comfortable, and all these are things that we are talking about. They are going to, put you in a place where you feel like you have to prove yourself too much, so you find yourself trying to prove a point to people and living according to other people's expectations. They are going to involve you in vices that overload with dopamine. Tajipata mtu anakuweka in some financial burdens, mtu atakuweka in a toxic relationship. Like there are so many ways, or there are so many distractions that can steal your destiny. So it's very important for you to understand how to identify distractions in your life, because the moment umeanza ku identify distractions kwa life yako, utakuwa rada. So mtu yote akijaribu kukuibia nyota yako, utakuwa rada yake. Okay? So in this series we are only talking about the basics. So as we advance, tutakuwa tunaona sasa vile vitu kama hizi zinatumika kuiba nyota za watu. Tutakuwa tukiangalia different situations, unaona vile one of these distractions zilitumika kuiba nyota huyo mtu. So for now, just get to know nani anakuibia nyota na zinaibia ngwaji. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.